Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your patience while this is getting all set up. So, how's your week getting started? I hope everything's going well. Thank you for your patience while this is getting all set up. Okay, yeah, the audio is there. Okay, and I can see messages here on my phone and also over here on the other screen. So, hello, Sarah. Hello, Irina. Hello, Leah. Let me see who else is. Hello, Carol. How was your weekend? How was everything? So, okay, let's get a few into some of the questions. So I'm doing great. Over the weekend, we had a birthday party from for my daughter. Her actual birthday is at the beginning of August, but when your birthday is in July and August, most of the time, all your friends are on vacation. So we decided to have a party with my daughter's classmates in the middle of June to make sure that her friends would still be around, and then she could finally have a party because all the other years it's been on vacation and it's just test. Check this. Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Okay. I can hear myself again. Yeah. Test. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know here, Carol. Yeah, sometimes I have to be careful touching cables. Sometimes with the webcam or so. And I can still hear myself. Okay. Yeah, I can still hear myself. So let me know. Yes, let me know in the comment there. So it's great to have these tech options to know, hey, there's a message here or there. And to make So, and yeah, so this tool that Maria is asking about, if there's something for dictation or spelling, for example, when there are links or websites or email addresses for the, like in a podcast, when a speaker mentions something quickly. Yeah, I can still hear myself though. Okay. So what I was mentioning is that sometimes what I do for is play the audio file on my phone. No sound again. Okay. I still hear myself. Okay. I'm still going to be like listening to this in the background. I'm going to. Do I still have? Yeah, I still hear myself. Okay. I'll try to ignore my voice. That might create a little bit of an echo in my ear, but that's just so I can monitor that there's still audio. Okay. So yeah, so some of you can still hear me. I'll still keep going. So what I sometimes do, and I'm going to stay far away from the cables and things. So yeah, perhaps reloading the page can help. Yes. Okay. So what I was mentioning here is that with these audio files, I might play them from the phone, and I might open a Google document, and with the Google document, I will use the voice typing tool. So let me, I mean, it might not always work 100%, but let me just show you how this looks. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, so you should be able to see the screen here for this. So what I'm going to use is this voice typing tool. I can't talk. And I go into the menu for tools menu. And it says here, voice typing. You can also use this Control-Shift-S. And that could also be Control-Shift-S. And when I do this, you should see there's this little microphone icon. Here I have it set up for English United States, but you can switch in this menu to all these other options, these other languages that they have. And then you click that, and then you play. So say, okay, go to hugginsinternational.com. That's HUGGINSINTERNATIONAL.com. Yeah, so that seems to work. I just read it as hugginsinternational.com, and then I spelled it HUGGINS, etc., and it seemed to catch that. So if you were playing this on a podcast audio and you had it set up to, you know that they say this website or whatever at minute 10 minutes and 23 seconds, and you just back this up to like, okay, at 10 minutes, and you start letting this voice recording or voice typing tool start listening while you're playing that out loud, it can catch you, can catch that link. I was doing this very quickly, and it seemed to catch it correctly. So that's one option that you can have for this. So you go to the Google document, go to Tools, this option, Voice Typing. You can also use Control-Shift-S. You might need to do it 1 or 2 times for it to work, but that's one option you have for catching like a dictation of a website or spelling somebody's name if they spell this quickly. Okay, let me go back to some of the questions and comments here. Okay. So that's something I use also for some of the TOEFL prep when I might be running out of time and somebody sends me 6 audio files and I need to dictate them very quickly before the lesson. So sometimes I will run this through on the this voice typing, see if it can help me transcribe a few things in a fast way. And right now with videos that I'm making for like Instagram and YouTube, I found one tool. What was it that I downloaded? It was, I think I know where it was. It was just, let me see if I can find this for you. Okay, this tool that I also downloaded that seemed to be helping me, and it was not that complicated, but it was mainly for somebody who is doing like a subtitles for a video. I was using this tool that's called Visual Sub Sync Subtitle Editor, and perhaps I can just show you on the screen what this looks like. This would be more tech involved. Let me just get this open and find a video. No. Just 1 second here. Okay, so I'm just going to take a new video. Oh, it says this, there was no audio. Okay, let me take another one here. Sorry. Okay, it's not working. Obviously, this stuff does not work when you want it to work at the last minute. Let me take somebody else's video here. Okay, obviously this is not working. Okay, I'll have to record this later. But what this would do, just on my screen, I'll just briefly show this. This would be a little bit more manual, but for this one, okay, so on this screen, there would be the video playing here, then the audio. I would select the audio here, like a chunk of the audio, and I would listen to that a couple times. And then down here, I would write this, and this would be part of like the subtitle. But that would be this is more of a tech tool for somebody who is creating like a video and needs to create a subtitle. But right now, on this call right now, it's not working to show it to you. I'll have to show it as a little video later on if somebody's interested in creating videos and they want some help with the subtitles. But as a learner, I think the tool for the Google Docs voice typing might be one thing you could use. In terms of the, like, since we're here in this challenge, I would say don't be afraid to kind of reach out to native speakers and maybe perhaps in the Facebook group and say, hey, there's part of this podcast from, like, if you could, here's this audio file for this podcast. It was at minute 10 minutes and 23 seconds. There was a link. Could somebody check this? This is what I heard. Could you double check that? So that's another option. You could rely on other people, native speakers, advanced learners, if there was really something that you couldn't hear. There's been some other teachers who have done that with me before. There's one teacher I was working with who teaches English, but English is not her native language. And on a few cases, she would go to a like a coffee shop or something and just have a recording kind of just for that interaction of like, hi, I'd like to buy a coffee, and then these questions that she was hearing, but at the time she was kind of guessing what the questions were, if it was something related to, I don't know, the size of the cup, or I don't know, if she wanted some kind of a flavor or syrup in the coffee. So later she sent me the audio file and asked me, hey, can you transcribe this? Like there was something that they said very quickly for a few seconds, just at this point in the recording. I'd like to just write that down to be able to keep track of some kind of authentic speech, or some interaction at a cash register, or on a telephone, if somebody's asking a question very quickly. So those are kind of getting some feedback from a native speaker to help out with that. Okay. And hello, okay, as well. And let's see some other comments here. So the bookshelf view as about, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm at a different location here, but yeah, I think the bookshelves make an interesting background instead of just the white wall. But and there's a tool that reads out the text letter for letter to practice. That's an interesting question as well. I had done something. I had done something a long time ago with Visual Basic and Microsoft, but I think it's possible to do that as well in JavaScript. So if there was a text, for example, you have a string of characters that you want this to work on, it is possible with JavaScript to parse, go letter by letter through the text, and you might need this to check for capital and like lowercase, uppercase, and lowercase, to just make everything lowercase, and to ignore symbols, unless I guess it were like a decimal point. That would need some interpretation of, like, if it's a period, full stop, dot, for that. But in terms of the letters, if you needed this to practice, what it could do is parse a script. So if like your question here, is there a tool that reads out texts letter for letter to practice? You could have a, like, that could be a sentence in JavaScript, and then the algorithm, what it could do is take a letter, convert the letter to something like everything lowercase, and then as it identifies what that letter is, so, okay, that's an I, that could trigger an array of 26 letters and 26 audio files based on the letter. So so it could just go to that one by one and then play those audio files one by one. There might need to be some kind of a mechanism to slow down the playback so that it would be manageable to listen to. So it wouldn't just be this ISTHEREATOOO, like that could be a bit too fast. But if it was like a human recording, not necessarily a computer text to speech, but it is possible to maybe trigger 26 short recordings of the letters and then have this go through one by one. And I suppose you could get 26 letters from somebody else on there. So I mean, this is just an app I'm thinking in my head of that could be created if you wanted something to be going letter by letter. If it were word by word, then you would need like text to speech. And I think Google charges money for access to use their text to speech tool if you're creating an app for it. But this right now that I'm thinking of it, I can't think of a tool that actually exists. I'm just thinking of how I would create that. If I could put aside about 6 hours on a weekend and have no interruptions, I could probably create that little thing. It's just 26 audio recordings. Lately for the audio, I've realized that I can do one long audio file. I don't have to do 26 separate audio files and then upload them, name them, and I can actually have just one long audio file and then select the timing for a certain sound. So I could say that the letter A, that's at second 0 to 0 and like 1 second. So it is possible to set that up. I had done a small pronunciation test tool a few weeks ago. Let me see if I can find this just to show you what I'm talking about here. I think it's in the documents. Okay, yeah, let me see if I can show this to you. Hopefully this will work, but okay, so let me see here. So this was with pronunciation. This is actually just one audio file, and it's got a bunch of audio timings for the words. Pool. So that's not me actually speaking, that's the audio file. And then I type this and I'll click check pool, and it's, yeah, pool, or actually refresh. Pull. Okay, no, what? Pull. Maybe it's the name of the person. Okay. Can't even understand my own speech. Peel. Yeah. So you could do something like this with the letter by letter. It could play a letter P, E, E, L. But this is a tool that I've been creating there. And if I show you behind the scenes, okay, there it is. So let me go over here again. Okay, so this is the programming that went into this, just to give you an idea of like, is it possible to create this stuff? So you can see it's not a lot of coding. I mean, right now it's just about 60 lines of code. But what it's doing here is, the first thing is it has access to this one audio file, and that one audio file has these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It has these 9 words. And those 9 words, it has the length of time. So this word pool, it lasts about, it starts at about 4 seconds. This one starts at 8 seconds. This one lasts, it's at 14 seconds. And then it's playing that audio file for about 1.5 seconds. because these words are very short. So these are the start times, and here it's telling it just play that audio file for 1.5 seconds and then stop. And then if I recognize that word, if it matches, then that is considered correct. If that's not correct, then I have to listen again and try to write it down. So it's it has the audio file. Then this randomizer for this tool here, it is creating a random number between of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options. Then it will play at that location in the audio file for 1.5 seconds, and then I have to identify, did I hear that correctly? So if the word that I wrote here matches, that will be correct. This is a logic that I've used on some other programs that I've written that you can find on the Huggins International Blogspot. Let me see if I can open that one as well. So let me show you this, just referring to this quickly, and then take some other questions here. So this is a similar logic that I've used. So this one was just between English and Spanish. This is one of the first things I had written about 6 years ago. And if I wanted to do, let's say, from Spanish to English, estas noches, so that combination, this is a random combination on a list. And then I have to translate that and say, okay, these nights, and then I will check this. And then, yeah. So if those words match each other on the translation, then it's considered correct. Then I will get like a new one, maybe from English to Spanish. So an opinion, let's say like, okay, una opinión, and then I need the accent mark. Like if I don't use the accent mark, so then it'll say it's wrong because I'm missing the accent mark. And then I have also a review mistakes tool. So that's just a little bit of what I was working on so far with like text to speech and recognition there. Let me go back over to your comments and things. So yeah, I'm programming. I'm programming these things as I get some ideas or get some requests from a student or what they would like. Then that's a little bit of okay. But yeah, if there are ideas for these little tools, I'm happy to kind of look into them and see what can I create. But yeah. So yeah. But in terms of oh yeah, I had also done a tool for dictation in terms of a little bit more of a like if there was a text. That one I forget. I did this for Russian, and what I had done with that was select a period of time there. So I could say I want this to go for about 5 seconds, or I want this to go for 10 seconds, and then it would loop. It would loop the audio, and then I could transcribe what was being said in that section of like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And because when I'm usually doing dictation, if this is for like a transcription of like a longer recording, for example, when I used to work at EY, a few times I was given like a 30-minute audio file or like a 1-hour audio file where it was a meeting, and the people in that meeting, because there was involvement with a foreign language, in this case like English, and we're here in Mexico, so there was an audio file, a recording of that meeting, And then my bosses gave me the audio file and they said, okay, we need a transcription of this meeting. And then once we get that transcription and that it's confirmed that it's correct, then they would proceed to have the translation from English to Spanish. But the first step was getting that transcription and making sure the transcription was correct. So this took a lot of steps. And because I like kind of programming a little bit and coming up with some tools that could help, and because otherwise this whole process when I was at the office, people would have to go into the Microsoft audio player, and the timing on the bar line was not so intuitive. If you moved it, it would go like a minute and a half, and sometimes you just want it to go back 10 seconds, and it just would be a pain. So I was also using some other tools like Audacity or WavePad, and then it would be very precise, but then I have to go back, listen again, go back, listen again. So I decided, like, is there a way I could create my own looping tool so I could listen to a section of the audio file for like 10 seconds, listen to it again and again, so I could hear it the first time, get an idea of what the words were. The second time I'm typing it very quickly. The third time I'm confirming what I wrote down, and then I can click a button and move it on to the next set of 10 seconds. So it is possible to create these tools that interact with the audio file and move it forward. Okay. So yeah, that program, I'll just put this over in the Skype notes. Sorry, not Skype notes. I'm not the YouTube notes. So this was this vocabulary exercise there for between English and Spanish, and for that one. And but yeah, these are some things on kind of helping you with dictation. A long time ago when I got started teaching business English, there was a book that we used that was specific to telephone English, and there was an audio file, or like a cassette tape at the time, and a lot of the exercises that were in there were spelling people's names, writing down telephone numbers, writing down times for an appointment, writing down the date for the date of an appointment. At the time, it wasn't so advanced for like websites and email addresses. I mean, a little bit on email addresses, but the audio tape was to help people work with dictation on some of those things. But that could be a little bit of a program, a side program for that. And but yeah, this is a little bit on the kind of this audio. I know that, for example, if you're working on English and you want to associate text and audio, a good place to check is on the VOA News in English for the Learning English. So let me show this on my screen here. Okay, so on here, where it says like this Learning English, Beginning, Intermediate, Advanced, a lot of these, if you take these files, usually the parts on like the news or the history. So let's say this one about researchers discover meat-eating plant in Canada. If I look at this, what I have is, here is this audio file for about 6 minutes that goes with the text here. And let me see if this plays out loud. I'm not sure if it'll catch.
Researchers say they have discovered a plant in Canada that not only eats insects.
Let me see if that audio catches. But this is the text there as well. Yeah, you can hear the audio file in this video. So you can play that audio file. It's a little slower, and it's researchers say they have discovered a plant in Canada that not only eats insects, but here is that whole text that's there, and you can listen to the audio file several times and work with it. And what you could also do, this is what I also recommend to students, is maybe don't look at the text first, just use the audio file here, play the audio file, maybe take some notes, try to write down what you heard, like dictation or note taking. This could also be helpful for students working on the TOEFL, although this audio file is a bit slow. So if this was this is, I think, at the beginner level or intermediate level. If this is more advanced, let me see if it's how fast it goes for the advanced one. Let's say U.S. history at the advanced level. Not sure if it mentioned something here about advanced, but
U.S. President. Sidney Milkus is part of the Miller Center.
That's still a bit slow. It's still a bit slow. There is another website I'll show you here called Breaking News English. That's a good one to check out as well. So let me show you here. So on this website, Breaking News English, what they do is they take like once, or not, like every 2 days, they are putting together audio files or a short text. And there's at different levels. Level 0 would be a lower one, 4, 5, 6 would be more advanced. And so they would take a collection of some information in the news. So here there's about 3 articles related to this topic. They create like a 2-paragraph summary of that. And then they do all of these like 27-page lesson of all these exercises related to that. But you can also listen to somebody reading this text. So it says here, North American and British English. And here you have slowest, fastest.
Anger as work starts on Machu Picchu Airport. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. The world-famous Inca site Machu Picchu in Peru is going to get an airport.
And then over here, the slowest. Yeah.
Anger as work starts on Machu Picchu Airport. This is breaking.
So that's just the audio file. This will like take about 2.5 minutes. This is a minute faster.
Newsenglish.com. The world-famous
So there you can work with this. This gets updated every 2 days. It's a really good one for learning English. I'm not sure if I haven't really found something equivalent for other languages yet, but these ones I would recommend are the breakingnewsenglish.com. I'll put that over here. And the Voice of America website, the Learning English. Put this over here. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing as well here. So yeah, those are Breaking News and the Voice of America, the Learning English, and then thinking about some of the tools that I've been creating as well. So hopefully, today seemed to be a little bit some of these questions related to the like audio, text to speech, dictation. So I'll look into a few other options and maybe put a comment here in the Facebook group about does anybody know other tools that exist for other languages like Spanish, French, German? I'm wondering for the German if there might be something for like the Deutsche Welle, the DW, if they have something there. I haven't looked in that lately to work on that, but I think we all might be familiar with some tool, so it would be a good idea to perhaps share that in the Facebook group, or also make this a question this week. What tools do you know for dictation? Or because I know Roberta had asked something a few weeks ago about vocabulary learning and tools. So this would be another question here to ask about the dictation and voice typing, text to speech, speech to text. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I need to get going for my next lesson with my first student for the day. But so today, yeah, a little bit on some of the programming that I do, and then some of these tools that exist. And it's always interesting to kind of mix the language learning with the programming. If a tool doesn't quite exist out there in the market, the great thing with programming is you can create it, or create a prototype and then get somebody else who's more experienced to kind of continue it. Great. Yeah, and thank you, yeah, Carol, Sarah, Koke, Sharif, Irena, Moasir for joining here, for your comments, and yeah, Maria for your question as well, and Leah for joining as well. And yeah, so yeah, I'm glad you found this helpful and interesting. And if you have other questions, this text on the side here, these comments might go away after this video ends, but we can move the conversation over to Facebook, and then perhaps also this week for the this question about the apps and tools that you know of. Great. And hello also, Camila. Okay, so have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining, and yeah, keep the questions coming, keep the questions and the comments going. And this is hopefully a start of a conversation, not an end, but just a way to find more resources, more recommendations. So, okay, great start to the week. If you have a moment right now after this recording, go make your recording for the day. Don't delay. Go get started, and we'll see you in the Google Docs and in the Facebook group. Great day. Take care.